Hey everyone, welcome back to another ranking video. In my past couple videos, I mentioned I was listening to a lot of prog rock lately, so I decided to do a video ranking my 35 favorite prog rock albums. There's not really any prog metal in here, maybe one band that's, kind of considered metal, but not, I don't think so. Um, yeah, basically, I broke my own rule. I usually put, one album per band, but for this video, I decided to put 3 album limit per band because there's some some albums I just can't pick over the other. So I decided to pick a maximum of 3 per band. Now, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to run through it, not mention as much on each album, maybe just something small on each one. And coming at number 35 for me, this is a band that I just recently got into, and I'm sure this album will get much higher as I listen to it more. And for some reason, I can't find the CD right now. I was just listening to my car, and I'm not sure where I placed it. But coming in last for me is Vandergraaf Generator with God Bluff. Amazing album. I love it. But again, I haven't listened to it enough to rank it higher, but I'm pretty sure a week from now, it'll be higher. All right, coming in at number 34, Asia's self-titled debut, supergroup featuring Steve Howe on guitar, John Wetton from King Crimson on vocals, and also drums by Carl Palmer. Coming number 33, Gentle Giant. This is The Power and the Glory. I like this album. It's pretty good. Released in '74, a couple years after the band's debut. A lot of people like Octopus. They rated it as Gentle Giant's best album. I'm not that familiar with Octopus yet. I know I haven't been that huge into prog rock for the longest time, so I'm getting into Octopus. But I do like The Power and the Glory a lot. Coming number 32, basically a Yes album and all but name. This is Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. Minus Chris Squire. Really cool stuff on here. Released in 1989. It's got that cool Roger Dean artwork, but not a Yes album. And coming in at number 30. I'm sorry, number 31. I lost track already. Out of the Blue, Electric Light Orchestra. This is originally released as a double LP. Hits all over this. Turn to Stone, Sweet Talk of Woman. What else is on here? Mr. Blue Sky, great song. Now we're getting number 30. Another one by Electric Light Orchestra. This is El Dorado. This is Electric Light Orchestra coming from their prog rock roots and going into, the hit-making machine they would become in the 70s. Coming number 29 from 1970, this is Gentle Giant's debut album. This is my favorite right now from Gentle Giant. I think it's a really good album and definitely different from the times being released in 1970. Coming number 28, Wishbone Ash with Argus. And no, that is not Darth Vader or Darth Vader helmet. Really cool stuff here. This is released in 1972. Sorry, bear with me for a minute. Coming number 27, Focus, Making Waves. Probably Focus' best-selling album. Features the hit single Hocus Pocus, which it's more of a cult single, not as much as a hit single. Okay, coming number 26, Kansas, Left Overture. Features one of my favorite songs of all time, Carry On Wayward Son, which I never get sick of no matter how many times it gets played. Released in 1976. Coming number 25, Styx, The Grand Illusion. The title track's amazing, Fooling Yourself, and obviously Come Sail Away is one of Styx's biggest songs. Coming number 24, Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Features the Icon in like a half-hour track, which in my opinion is Todd Rundgren's best guitar work. Coming number 23, the Yes album. First album to feature Steve Howe. Definitely changed the way the band was going, and this is a great album and foreshadows even better stuff that would come after this. Coming number 22, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. their debut album. Kind of a super group there, featuring the three members. Sorry, I drew a blank there. I was looking at the title tracks. Yeah, The Barbarian opens it up. Knife Edge is great, and then it features Lucky Man, which became a hit single for the band from 1970. Number 21. Probably my favorite Jethro Tull album, but since we're ranking Prog, it was hard to rank it this high, actually. Aqualung, their biggest selling album, or this low, not this high, whatever you want to say. Features the awesome title track, Cross-Eyed Mary. My God is amazing. Locomotive Breath, another great song. Coming number 20, Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Double album, last album they would do before Peter Gabriel would leave the band and embark on a solo career. Number 19, another one from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This is Brain Salad Surgery. Great album. The Carn Evil 9, that rounds out the second side of this is just amazing. And they had another hit single from this, part 2 of the Carn Evil 9. First Impression Part 2 was a huge hit single for them. Nursery Crime, Genesis, another great, amazing album. Features the musical box. Great song on here. The Return of Giant Hogweek is great. I mentioned this more in depth in my Genesis video, but really great album. Coming number 17. Jethro Tull, Passion Play. Basically just one long song split between two tracks on CD and, two sides of the vinyl. This came out right after Thick as a Brick, and they continued the legacy of their prog rock. Coming number 16. King Crimson, this is Lark's Tongue and Aspic. Really cool stuff. The opening track, which is called Lark's King and Aspic Part 1, is just amazing. I love the, just the keys on there and the mellotron on this. Just a really cool stuff. Of course, Robert Fripp's amazing guitar work. Bill Bruford on drums. John Wetton on bass and vocals. Okay. Now we're down to the final 15, which are really hard for me to rank. We're coming number 15, Hemispheres from Rush. Features a Villa Strangiato, which in my opinion is one of the greatest rock instrumentals of all time. It's amazing. I don't know how these guys actually thought of this. Their brains just don't work like the rest of ours. The Trees was a minor hit for Rush. Mostly acoustic track. The Whole Side 1, Singus X1 Bark Book 2. Really cool stuff. Broken down into 6 different parts. Coming to number 14, Point of No Return, Kansas. Their biggest selling album. Features a lot of hit singles on here. Point of No Return, obviously. Dust and Wind was a great hit single. But the ending of this, from Sparks of Tempest, Nobody's Home to Hopelessly Human, are just amazing. I love this album. Even though Carry On My Wayward Son is my favorite Kansas song, this is my favorite Kansas album. Yeah, I can go without hearing Dust and Wind again, but the rest of this is amazing. Coming number 13, Supertramp, Crime of the Century. Such an amazing album. It's just one of those records you had to play extra loud. The opening School was just phenomenal. Such a great song. And The Bloody Well Right, which would become a hit single for the band. Still played on radio today. Rudy on here is great. And the title track that ends it is just amazing. This is not the Supertramp you would think of with, with Give a Little Bit and Represent America and stuff like this. This is Supertramp at their proggiest, and in my opinion, their greatest. Coming number 12. The follow-up to the Yes album. First album to feature Rick Wakeman. This is Fragile. Such an amazing album. Roundabout. Never get sick of hearing that song. South Side of the Sky. Amazing. One of my favorite tracks off here. I always thought that should have been a hit single. And of course, Long Distance Runaround. Another amazing track. The Fish is great. Move for a Day. Heart of Sunrise. Just an all-over awesome album. Probably one of my favorite Yes albums and one of my favorite albums of all time. Coming number 11. Another one of my favorite albums of all time. Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd. Released in 1975. I mean, the highlights, there's just 5 tracks on here, but they're all amazing. I mean, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, it opens it up. David Gilmour is probably one of the only guitarists that keep my attention for that long with just them so simple notes, and it just rings out. Welcome to the Machine, very, very proggy song on here. Have a Cigar, which features vocals from folk singer Roy Harper, because Gilmour or Wooders couldn't really sing the lead vocal on that, so they got Roy Harper to sing on that. Of course, the title track, Wish You Were Here, is a classic, and it ends with Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 6 through 9, and the first track's parts 1 through 5. All right, in the top 10, Foxtrot from Genesis. As I said in my Genesis video, I always loved that artwork. Opens up with Watch for the Skies, one of my favorite Peter Gabriel era Genesis songs, and ends with Supper's Ready, over 22 minutes. Just amazing prog rock, and Genesis is one of the best prog rock bands of all time, and this is their album. I feel like they perfected it. Coming number 9, Farewell to Kings by Rush. Features the awesome title track, Xanadu, 11-minute, really proggy song. The hit single, Close to the Heart, is amazing. Cygnus X1, it ends it, over 10 minutes. Yeah, this is really good stuff. And this is the band I was mentioning that sometimes they call them prog metal. But yeah, I mean, they're a huge influence on the metal scene. And all musicians, really. But I never really could consider them a metal band. Definitely a prog rock band. Really good stuff here. Coming number 8, In Court of the Crimson King, an observation by King Crimson. Opens up with 21st Century Schizoid Man, Talk to the Wind, Epitaph, Moonchild, and ends with the title track, The Court of the Crimson King. And a weird cover, but it's so iconic to this day. Released in 1969, many people say this is the first prog rock album. I believe Sgt. Pepper's has touches of prog. That, in my opinion, is what created prog rock, but overall, all over prog rock album, this may be the first. Amazing. I mean, it's got the psychedelia in it, also being released in time in the late 60s. Coming number 7, Tarkus, my favorite album from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. The title track that opens it up, over 20 minutes. I mean, these guys are a great super group. Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, Carl Palmer. Such a good band. Bitches Crystal is amazing. The Only Way, Infinite Space, Time and a Place, and ends with Are You Ready, Eddie? I believe this is 1971. Yeah, 1971, their sophomore album. Really, really cool stuff. I always loved that artwork. I knew someone had this t-shirt. It was like vintage, and I always wanted this on a t-shirt. It's really cool. All right, coming number 6, Pink Floyd, Animals. Some days I say this is my favorite album by Pink Floyd. Pigs in a Wing, parts 1 and 2, which bookend the album. Dogs. David Gilmour thinks it's the greatest song he's ever written, and I can't disagree with that. I mean, over 17 minutes. Pigs, 3 different ones, has some radio play. I remember hearing on the radio, probably in the early 2000s, late 90s. I remember hearing that. Sheep is probably the most well-known song off of this, but Dogs is just like it's one of those songs that every guitar player wants to learn, and everyone attempts, and it's just amazing. David Gilmour is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. All right, take a drink before I get in the top 5. These top 15 were really hard to rank. I wanted to cram all 15 into just 5, but obviously I can't do that. How about number 5 for me? My favorite from King Crimson, this is Red. Last album to feature John Wetton on vocals before he would leave. Bill Burfield on drums. Robert Fripp obviously on guitar. The title track, Red, is so heavy. Again, this was released in 74. Just double checking. Yeah, 1974. I mean, the artwork could have been much better, but I kind of, recognize it for what it is now as an iconic album. My favorite from King Crimson. Sorry, some glare in there. I mean, I don't know where the Red title came from. I guess from the song. But you see a little bit of red on there, and that's about it. Coming number 4. 2112 from Rush. I feel like this is the album that Rush went full prog. Obviously with the title track, which opens side 1. broken down into 7 parts. Overture, Temples of Syrinx. I love that. That's my favorite part of the 2112 Overture. Discovery, Presentation, Oracle, The Dream, Soliloquy, Grand Finale. Then the second side opens up with a passage to Bangkok. I love that. They replicate that Asian Chinese sound on guitar. Alex Lifeson. The Twilight Zone, Lessons, Tears, Something for Nothing. 1976 release for Rush. And many people will say this is Rush's greatest album along with me. This is my favorite album from Rush. Just such a great album. It's got their, it's just a signature for them. Look at that cover. Everyone knows that. I mean, in the back cover, another signature symbol for him, the naked guy there. All right, now we're down to the top 3. Coming number 3 for me, the follow-up to Aqualung. This is Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull, released in 1972. Basically one long song, split into 2 tracks on CD, 2 sides on vinyl. The 23-minute first half and the 21-minute second half. Thick as a Brick, just amazing. It's 20-minute songs, but when you put them on, you don't want to split them up. You just have to listen all the way through. And I just feel they're so great that they encapsulate you in the sound that you almost forget that you're listening to the same song for 20-some minutes. Amazing. I mean, the artwork is cool. I know the original vinyl opened up to replicate like a newspaper. Really cool stuff. All right, top 2. Coming number 2 for me. This might be a lot of people's number 1 album, especially number 1 prog rock album. For me, it's number 2, Close to the Edge. In my opinion, probably the greatest work from Yes. Features the title track, Close to the Edge. Amazing. I mean, the vocals from John Anderson. I mean, these were all all-star, 5-star musicians. Some of the greatest musicians you'll ever find played in Yes. From Steve Howe's guitar to Rick Wakeman's keys, John Anderson's vocals, Chris Squire, arguably one of the greatest bass players of all time. So Close to the Edge is 4 parts, The Solid Time of Change, Total Mass Retained, I Get Up, I Get Down, and ends with Seasons of Man. Only 3 tracks total on here. And You and I, another amazing one. That's the second side, opens that. 10-minute song, Chord of Life, Eclipse, The Preacher, The Teacher, and Apocalypse. That's the 4 parts of And You and I. And ends with Siberian Katru. Another amazing album. Amazing song. But yeah, speaking of an amazing album, this was also released in 72, which was a big year for prog rock. For Emerson, Lake of Palmer, Yes. Jethro Tull, released in Thick as a Brick. And I mean, I can't say enough about this album, as has been said before. I mean, again, such simple artwork, but amazing album. I love it. And coming number 1 for me, I hope I didn't give it away by wearing a t-shirt, but not only is it, in my opinion, the greatest prog album of all time, I think it's the greatest album of all time. Is it my favorite Pink Floyd album? I'd probably reach for Animals, I Wish You Were Here over this, but it's so iconic that I love it, and I'll never say anything bad about it. Dark Side of the Moon, released in 1973, changed the world. I say changed the music scene. Took Pink Floyd from a little-known band to being one of the most iconic bands of all time, up there with Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles. Speak to Me opens it up, which goes into Breathe. On the Run, great instrumental. Time, The Great Gig in the Sky, another great instrumental, which features that woman vocal on there. I can't think of her name right now, sorry. Well, this is screaming, but it just makes the album. It was like orgasmic scream she has going for her. Money, Us and Them, probably my favorite track off of this. Any Color You Like, one of my favorite instrumentals, so good. And then it ends the conclusion with Brain Damage and Eclipse. I mean, everything about this is iconic. I mean, the artwork, you just look, you just see this and you know who it is. You know what band it is. It's one of the most iconic covers of all time, if not the most iconic cover of all time. One of the biggest selling albums of all time. I think almost everyone has heard it or owns it. Oh man, such good stuff. I mean, still played on the radio this day. Breathe, Time, Money, Us and Them, Brain Damage, Eclipse. I mean, when you have, 3, 4, 6 out of 9 songs played on the radio to this day, it's amazing. I mean, the only ones that don't really play are the instrumentals, On the Run Any Color You Like, and The Great Gig in the Sky. So yeah, that's my number one, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. One thing I want to mention is I thought about including Moving Pictures from Rush, but to me, as much of a great album it is, and as well known as it is, and such a big seller, and it's known as Rush's greatest album, I felt the 3 albums I picked from Rush in this list were more proggier than Moving Pictures. I mean, Moving Pictures is proggy. It's a great album. I'm not discrediting it, anything at all. But like I said, I limited myself to 3 albums per band, and had I done 4 albums or what, Moving Pictures would definitely be in here. All right, I'm gonna go over my list real quick one more time, just to recap. Number 1, Dark Side of the Moon. Number 2, Close to the Edge. Number 3, Thick as a Brick. Number 4, 2112. Number 5, Red. Number 6, Animals. Number 7, Tarkus. Number 8, Court of the Crimson King. Number 9, Farewell to Kings. Number 10, Foxtrot. Number 11, Wish You Were Here. Number 12, Fragile. 13, Crime of the Century. 14, Point of No Return. 15, Hemispheres. 16, Lark's Tongue and Aspic. 17, A Passion Play. 18, Nursery Crime. 19, Brain Salad Surgery. Number 20, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. 21, Aqualung. 22, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the debut. 23, The Yes Album. 24, Todd Rundgren's Utopia. 25, Styx, The Grand Illusion. 26, Kansas, Left Overture. There goes my stack. 27, Moving Waves. 28, Argus. 29, Gentle Giant's Debut. 30, El Dorado. 31, Out of the Blue. 32, Innocent Bruford, Wakeman and Howe. 33, Power and Glory of Gentle Giant. 34, Age's self-titled debut. And like I said, number 35 is the Vandergraaf Generator, which I don't have right now. I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. But yeah, that's my 35 favorite prog rock albums as of right now. That could change any day. It could change tomorrow. Like I said, Vandergraaf Generator will probably go higher the more I listen to it. I just love it. Gentle Giant Octopus will probably make this list. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope everyone appreciate this. And I feel like if you're a musician, prog rock is the one genre you got to get into. You got to hear, obviously, I'm sure everyone here has heard Dark Side of the Moon. But if you haven't heard Close to the Edge, you got to get into that. You got to hear some of this Jethro Tull stuff. That's my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit like. Please subscribe for more videos. You'll get updates every time I upload. And I'm trying to do, at least 4 to 5 videos per week. That may change. That may be 1 per day, which is what I'm aiming for. And if you like what you see, you want to follow my collection, I post a lot over at Instagram at Gary Deliciums. Again, everyone, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the prog.